Today I will be carving the handle, scabbard, and fittings of the parts for my knife. So the handle needs to be carved so the tang fits perfectly and is able to slide on and off. One side will be carved so it fits halfway on the spine side and then all the way on the edge side. And the other side will be carved to fit halfway on the spine side only. I like to true up the surfaces and mark which direction the blade will be facing before I start carving. I will deeply score the outline of the blade with a small marking knife, and then I'll start carving the inside of the handle. And then I will start carving the inside of the handle with my special curved chisel, which is designed to kind of stay out of the way when you're carving the inside of it. For the glue up, I like to put the knife in to keep everything from sliding around, and then I clamp it all up, and once it's kind of out of that stage of sliding around, I just take the blade out. Next is carving the scabbard, which is very similar to the handle, except it's a lot more tricky due to the habaki or blade collar. I first carved the inside of the scabbard to loosely fit the blade alone without the habaki. You want it to be a little bit loose because it's best if the blade touches the inside of the scabbard as little as possible to prevent scratching. One trick that I use for carving out the habaki area is to put the habaki on backwards and then carve the outline. But you have to be careful not to carve all the way to the pencil line that you make, because that will make the hole oversized and you're kind of out of luck once that happens. The habaki is designed to create friction inside of the scabbard, so you need to carve the habaki area a little bit undersized. Next is carving down the bulk of the handle and the scabbard. I do this by making relief cuts at a safe depth by marking the saw with a Sharpie marker. It's all chiseled off and then loosely planed. I usually use my marking knife to carve down to the line and then plane down to kind of match up to that line. I'm also marking where the fittings will line up on the handle and planing down to get close. The excess on each side of the handle is then cut off, trying to be as square as possible. To fit the handle caps or fuchi and kashira, I saw a groove where the fittings will slide to. I will also do the scabbard ring the same way, but it's more tricky because the ring is at an angle, and you need to angle the saw as well when you're carving the groove around it. I like to carve it so the ring just fits on the top, and then I carve down and match it all the way to the shoulder that it rests on. To shape the spacers, I chisel off as much as possible, and then I file the rest of the way down. A small file is used to remove the burr. I've since made a new Fuchi to match up with the Scabbard ring. That way it'll have more flow because it doesn't really match up and that just isn't visually pleasing at all. I also had to carve a new handle too, but on the bright side, it was actually one of my best carving jobs yet.